It's nice to have you be part of our show today. This is Enterprise Morning right here on Enterprise Television. I am Henry Igbebike.
And I'm Choma Okoye.
All right, and a bit we'll be going to our newspaper headlines to see what we have for you this morning. And after that will be, conversation also for today. We will then join you to be part of our community, belong to our tribe by following us on all our social media platforms at Enterprise TV 7, and also subscribe to our YouTube page, and also visit our website at www.enterprisetv.news.com. Our guests today in the studios to do justice to our newspaper reviews this morning: Cyril Abaku, a journalist and a public affairs analyst, and Emeka Madu-Nagu, journalist also and a public affairs analyst. Good morning, gentlemen.
Hello.
And welcome to Enterprise Morning today.
It's a pleasure.
All right. Choma, good morning.
Good morning, Henry. You're looking good this morning.
Same.
Okay, let's get into our first daily. And the first paper on our decks is the Daily Independent newspaper. And one of the stories here, Dangote says coins projected $30 billion revenue will boost Naira value. And moving on, let's get into the big story. Federal government tackles hunger, gives 20 trucks of rice to each state, FCT. And we have about 2 riders to that particular story. Says it has identified solution to food shortage. May reveal final resolution of minimum wage Thursday.
All right, so let me get into the part of that particular story, and we have it from that says that the federal government says it has donated about 20 trucks of rice to each of Nigeria's 36 states and Abuja as part of measures to cushion the country's food crisis. Information Minister Mohammed Idris disclosed this in Abuja on Monday while briefing State House reporters at the end of the Federal Executive Council. Now, it is said here that each truck, right, is carrying about 1,200 of 25 kg bags of rice. Cyril Abaku, another palliative. Is this the best solution to the problem of inflation in Nigeria?
Of course not. Of course not. The last one they shared, the last time it went round, I don't know if anybody in this room either got or saw somebody who got, because I didn't get. Okay? But the federal government clearly has shown that they haven't received any wisdom that is higher than the wisdom of last year, which was to say that things were now so bad that they have to be feeding Nigerians by themselves as if we were all in a refugee camp or that we were at war. So the question is, economists will tell you that any economic policy you initiate in an economy will take a minimum of 6 months for you to see the impact. Between last year and now, what have we done differently? Or what did we do to expect a different result? That about a year, more than a year later, we are going back to price distribution, which, first of all, we'll never get to the people that it's meant to get to. And even if you got anywhere, it will shortchange the people will be seriously shortchanged. And then also the fact that we don't have any tracking mechanism, so know who is really in need from who may not be so much in need. So with all of this in the picture, did I award the contract? Who is going to be distributed? Is it the governor or the local government chairman? What's the modality for the program? And we didn't see it coming. I don't know if you were aware last week that by yesterday, Monday, we just heard that it's going to distribute. See, as good intentions may be, a country, management, a government shouldn't run by surprising people. That's not how government runs. Because we don't know how much they will go and quote tomorrow as the cost of this distribution and purchase of the rice. It may be more. It may be more than what the living cost. So in the end, it would have been us being penny wise, one foolish, even if it was by choice. So there are many questions on this rice distribution that always,
Thank you, sir. Okay, let me go over to you, Emeka. It is believed that the government heard that the citizens were protesting soon, and that was one of the reasons why they decided to use this mechanism to actually calm the citizens down. Do you believe otherwise?
Well, for me, I think the Nigerian government has a wrong understanding of who Nigerians are. Nigerians are hungry, but Nigerians are not helpless. Nigerians are not hapless. They are two different things. Nigerians need food. Nigerians can work and provide food for themselves, by themselves. All these donations increase the jack up the inflation rate. For me, look, we're a market-driven economy. Yes, you can have a mix of, you can have what I call social capitalism, where you add a bit of welfareist, initiatives, but a market-driven economy. Now, that rice is not even up to 1 million bags.
Yeah, in fact, a total, every state, because let's not deceive ourselves, it's 25 kg. So if it should be 50 kg bag of rice, so we're talking about 600 bags for each truck. So 12,000 bags of rice is what is going to each state.
Now, if each family, we are 200 million, right? I want us to just do a little, no, we're 200 million. Let's remove 50 million youths. Population, not married and all of that. Let's even make it 100 million. Let's remove 100 million not married and all of that. Then let's divide 100 million into average family size in Nigeria. Now, father, mother, 4 children. Averagely, now, 4 or 5 children. At the extreme, 6. Even though some people have more. But let's just use, maybe 6 in a household. How many bags, how many people, how many families will that rice go to? So you see that at the end of the day, what we are doing, though laudable in terms of welfareism, but it doesn't make sense for a market-driven economy. You see, we must always walk the talk. If we are running a market economy, let's run a market economy. If you are running a welfareist economy, honestly, I would like it to. What's my own? I don't have to struggle too much. You get, just give me 25 kg or I'm going to get to my wife and children. We'll hold a meeting. How will we manage this thing? Yes, I know that tomorrow morning the milkman will be at my door, drop milk, drop groceries. My children go to school, there will be free food and all of that. Why would I bother myself? But, you see, this thing has been tried in the old Soviet Union, Soviet bloc. Even China, but they all moved away. China is one of the major market economies in the world today. Forget about how they talk about communism. They discarded communism a long time ago. So what am I saying? That rice should have actually gone to the markets. Not to the, if you take it into the markets, if government were to think, you target like 1.5 million bags of rice, even if 25 kg, pump them into the market to bring down the price. And then you deal with the cabals in the market. You saw what the owner of Ife just said, that he has outlawed all those cabals in the market in the southwest, in the markets in the southwest. Deal with those cabals, those middlemen. Bring down the prices of these things. Nigerians will go and buy them. But the problem is, we are just announcing that inflation, as of June, had risen to 34.something%. And then you now want to pump in rice again. One of the triggers may be actually that government mopped up rice from different producers, right? And so that jacked up the price. So you now add a political angle to it. That means we are looking at by August, September, inflation, if care is not taken, might jump to 40%.
Is it fair to say this is another definition of gross incompetence and ineptitude of the government in power today?
Well, it is easy for us to put it that way, but in my opinion, incompetence may be that the person even means to do well, but doesn't have the skill set to get things right. But whether, because I'm looking at this government, I'm looking at where we were with them when they are outside of office and the things they are doing now that they're inside of office. I'm not so sure if they are performing this way because they are not able to perform better. I suppose that they have a design, and God knows whatever that is. I suppose that they have their own plan, their own understanding of what they want to achieve with the economy. I don't think that this is happening because of errors or mistakes or bad judgment. I think this is a deliberate, very well orchestrated approach they have adopted by themselves.
Really?
However, do you want me to explain it? How do you explain a government that in 2012 organized so clinically in Lagos to reject subsidy removal? Only to come 12 years later, is it 12 how many years later? Yeah, 12 years later, to do the same policy and in a worse way. I mean, you can look at all the things they used to write back then, like Mohammed and Co, the things that they used to write and everything. Even the president, the things he used to say as the leader of the ACN or APC, as the case might have been, and what they're doing in office today. You wonder. So is it that they are? I don't think it's for the lack of good sense. Look at, we saw this happen last year. Palliatives. This was the first time that they're going to distribute rice.
So you think this is not, so you think this is not reactive and possible the government licking its wounds?
Let me make my last thought before he comes on. Ask yourself, what is the because action and inaction are both actions. Now, good. So, Henry, what is Nigeria's daily rice consumption?
No data.
Who has ever told us that? But that would have been very useful data, you know. Because Nigerians eat rice on a daily. It's like we are all addicted to rice. In fact, there was a time when families couldn't afford rice, but we all know that rice was the primary donor of Nigerian families. So sometimes every Sunday families ate rice. In fact, if you couldn't afford it, you went to the neighbor's house to go and eat rice. Rice was like the thing that we all wanted. It was a salad back then. Somehow rice became everybody's within access. Now, what is again? I mean, you can't go to a buka or Mama Put bars or somewhere. Everyone is selling food. The first thing you see is rice before anything else. Food. So what? So this rice, what the one that they say they're using now? What is the strategic objective it is supposed to hit? What is it supposed to do? Is it to reduce? Is it to take care of a day's consumption? So what? I think if we have checked all these things, and the only result it's going to bring is inflation. Are you aware that only last week or 2 weeks ago the president inaugurated the Economic Council?
Again.
Who are those
again? No.
Second time. You have Dangote there. You have Doyin Salami. You have all the leading lights of the
same crowd that Jonathan used, Obasanjo used, Buhari used.
And a week later, they said that the first thing that they're going to do is to push rice to, and you're asking, isn't this a return of Babangida? That government always did what it thought it should do, not because it didn't have other option, but because that was what it wanted to do. No matter what you bring referendum, after they have voted, you leave it and then go and do what. So you just waste the time with all those things. I don't think that this is happening because they don't know to do better. I think that this is the course of action they've chosen to take. That's my own personal opinion.
Yeah, all right, so I'd love to hold your thoughts on that. Finally,
I will just, with due respect, I'll strongly disagree with Siri, because I will just take one or two things. Now, as at this morning, there were hints that the central bank at the next MPC meeting coming on the next few days, monetary policy committee meeting, might reduce interest rates, because they are saying that jacking up interest rates was just was a wrong decision. Then secondly, last week the Minister of Works, David Umahi, said that government was trying to fix roads across the country, especially roads where foodstuff and all of those things will pass. The government didn't really give enough vent to that, which just came and went like, just about any ordinary news item. Then thirdly, the government has set up a Ministry of Livestock Development, but has not come out to actually give life to it and say, these are the objectives. You see, the problem, why Nigerians are talking about going out on the streets on August 1 is very simple. There is a miscommunication between the government and the people. And I put it at later doorsteps of those handling the government media. You cannot have a media that is adversarial, always wanting to fight people. And then a lot of sensible things will be lost in between. And let me tell you, when I sit down and look at Tinubu's programs, I see some laudable things there. But the problem is this: maybe the skill set, like Cyril said, of some of the people handling these things, is too low.
But some of these people
lower than.
So you know some of these people as a media professional yourself, and of course they are out.
What about look at in the NDAs? The biggest problem Nigeria has today is technical incompetence. And that's why you see Minister of Agriculture building mosques. That's why you will see government officials talking about we'll put projects there, whereas there has been no technical, nobody has sat down to look at it technically. And you know what? We waste a lot of money. So the simple thing for government, instead of pumping rice and all this, look at tomato. Let me just use tomato and pepper as a simple example. The price went up, right? There was talk of tomato Ebola, there was talk of some other things like that. But now the price of tomato suddenly dropped. Why? Because harvest, but in the next few months, the price of tomato and pepper will go up again because it will be out of season. So what needs to be done is communicate with the people, right? What the Honorable said, government should say more. President Tinubu promised to set up a price control board. Why hasn't he set it up? If you see some of these things and tell Nigerians that, okay, please, right now we're in the thick of rainy season. So food, right now, a lot of things, are being cultivated. But please give us another 3 months. Let us sort things out in terms of food and all of that. They just will listen. But we are trying to distribute rice. We are trying to now bribe the people, and that is not how to run a nation.
All right, let's move on to our next daily for today, and this is coming from the Nation newspaper. And we have the big story here. Nigeria to export petroleum products by December, says NNPCL. And the writer there says Port Harcourt refinery begin operations next month. Food cost pushes inflation rate to 34.19%.
Moving on to the top strip on the Nation newspaper. How illegal miners feel insecurity by Abbas. CDS details are on page 3.
And also, Kano court stops Bayero for orders from acting as monarchs.
And lastly, allocation freeze. State sets timetable for council elections.
All right, Emeka Madunagu, if possible, you can sandwich two stories here because there are so many interesting headlines here. Nigeria to export petroleum products by December. I know we've discussed that right here in our studios, where both of you, of course, were talking about how that the Port Harcourt refinery. Exactly. Yeah, the time for operations, kept changing, and now and then. Right now, the federal government is saying that by next month, we might start exporting petroleum products to.
See, all this is just dishonesty. Chevron has a refinery in Escravos that produces clean diesel and base oils, and these things are exported. Why do these people just do they think we're stupid? How can they say to export? We're already exporting. The JV contract between the NNPC and IOCs is 60-40. So you take your own, whether you want to sell it wrong, fine. You take your own. If you want to go and sell it like that, or you want to use it, you want to refine it. You understand? You do that. And they're doing different things. That's why you see all these lubricants, these base oils. You understand? These, IOCs, they produce from their own allocation. They don't go and bring base oil from, Sahara Desert. So these things are they're there. But maybe some of these people don't even know. They're not even aware. I'm aware because one of my friends, actually went to do some work there, and he said they said, that's it. Very clean diesel, then base oils. And these things are directly exported. They don't even come into Nigeria at all. They just export them.
But my question is, why would we export when we do not have enough in the country?
You see, again, when I say that, this is not poor judgment or error of communication. I know Emeka quietly disagree, but this is justification. You think he doesn't know what he's saying? He knows what he's saying. It's two things. One is to say that when you talk about export, it's like saying, wow, we're even going to take care of local consumption. But I can tell you that whatever for all you care cannot even take care of local consumption. We cannot even feed the whole of the Niger Delta in the first place. We should be, it was this same Emile Kyari that glibly told Nigerians last year that even if Dangote refinery became on stream, that the price of petrol still won't come down. This whole thing is a criminal enterprise, in the words of Obi Wakam, writing in the Vanguard last week. So you knew that Dangote will not help, that Dangote refinery will not lead to price reduction in PMS pump price. But you know that Port Harcourt refinery that is dead and that is at the burial ground.
But it's just about to start operation next month.
Tomorrow, it will start exporting to Saudi Arabia. The same government that said the Saudis are coming to invest in. I think we should blame this newspaper that took the lie was telling and put on their front page.
Maybe they didn't really understand.
How did you carry his story to come and put? And if you even wanted to do so, you should do it in context.
In context, thank you. Even if it's a press statement.
And remind him of all the lies.
Even if it's a press statement.
Yes.
You run the story, but you
they will not bring context.
Yes, that's the job of the media.
Because the cannot even meet local. If you are talking, it can't even meet local consumption in first. It cannot.
Before refineries.
Capacity.
Before refineries.
No,
refinery. I've forgotten the exact figure, but
it's not much.
It can't even meet the Niger Delta. It's one small figure like this. So the other thing is that how many barrels of crude are the 4 state-owned refineries? Is it not 445,000 barrels of crude per day that they are supposed to refine and sell? So what is the consumption? What is the local consumption? They say now it has dropped down to 35 million liters, right? And then the 4 refineries produce just 10%, about 10 or 8% of that. So who are you deceiving? You see, if you say they are going to export base oils, engine oil and the rest of them, I can agree with you, no problem. Those ones are byproducts, But when you say petroleum products, that's why you see also the media should help in communication. Let's not use big words. Break it down. If you're saying petrol, what are you? Is it kerosene? When last did you see kerosene? Is it bitumen? There are, I think, about 15 or 18 petroleum products from a barrel of crude. So don't just say petroleum products. It's too general. Make it clear. If it is aviation fuel, yes, it's possible, because based on the production, from Nigeria, it's possible that we can meet local demand and still have enough to export. But if you're telling me it's PMS, then please let me go and wash my face again and sit down like a nursery school child and listen to you carefully. Because I know that's
all right, let's move on finally to RNS Daily. What do we have?
The Guardian newspaper, and the big story here: Nigeria has risk of food crisis as inflation hits new record. Details are on page 6.
All right, so we have on the bottom strip of the same newspaper, much ado about some more agreement LGBTQ plus rights.
Okay, moving on. Federal government distributes 740 trucks of rice to address hunger. Details are on page 20.
And also we have again court bars Bayero for others as monarchs in Kano.
Okay, defense chief links illegal miners to influential people. Details are on page 7. Now, moving over to you, Cyril.
Yes.
Defense chief links illegal miners to influential people because these illegal miners, especially in the north, it's been on for a long time. Do you agree or disagree?
Of course, I agree. And for that bit of information, I didn't need the defense chief to say it. It is in the public. People know these things. All right. It is linked to people who are in very high places. That same band, within that same band, wavelength, frequency, you have illegal miners, you have bandits, you have terrorists, you have kidnappers, you have herdsmen, you have the so-called drug cartel. They are all one big family in the underground. Now, the defense is coming to say they are people who are influential. He's not helping matters because we've had it over and over again. What he should be doing is has he told what he knows they can't tell us? Has he told the police? Has he told the DSS? So that they can investigate. So that they can question him further to know what he knows. Because being the chief of defense, he has access to all kinds of information. Air Force intelligence,
we assume he has.
He should have Air Force intelligence, Navy, naval intelligence, army intelligence. Then there's the other one that is called the Defense Intelligence Agency, which is supposed to be the chief of all military intelligence. So he should be a man who has sufficient. So if he's collaborating with the NIA, which is the National Intelligence Agency, the Justice and Police, they'll be able to now come together to meet with the NSA to say, see what we have found out so far. Advise the president on what to do. Keyamo came the other day that the NSA told him that people were using private jets to clear drugs and all kinds of things. Of course, things are happening in this country, and we know a lot of regulations have been made. Past ministers, how did one former NSA get killed? He said that these people who are behind Boko were in the government. So this thing like that, he died in a plane crash. So it's not new. All right. The other day, somebody came out to say that the former chief of army staff that died in a plane crash in Kaduna, that his death was not ordinary. The president should investigate and where did that end up? It didn't go anywhere. A country in which government agents come and tell you what is going on, they run back. Come and give headline, they run back. What do they expect you to do? I should be not to go and investigate and find out who the big Nigerians are.
Well, and just to say, a couple of days back, 6 Chinese miners were actually killed in the northern part of the country, and that's so very unfortunate. But to you, Emeka, again, court bars Bayero, 4 others as one known as in Kano, and Lawan disowns anti-Tinubu comments amid moves to sanction Ndume. Metaphorically, are we saying the northern bridge is gradually falling apart?
No, it's not. They are just playing games now. The elite games. Elites, yeah, the elites play games to keep themselves busy.
So you mean this is not a gradual fragmentation of coalition that used to be known for the northern people?
No, these people are just... Look, you see the elite, when you have what you call the idle rich. Yeah. They are so rich. They are so comfortable. So what do they now just, just like you and I will engage in maybe Scrabble or draft, So they start playing some games. They just try and keep ourselves busy. At the end of the day, this idle rich will still sit behind closed doors, hug and end their issues. And they just call journalists. You see, after extensive, they will use some very fine words. And that story will go into the archives.
They say he misquoted them.
They can even try to make the media the fall guy. So, barring Bayero, another court tomorrow can come tomorrow and say, no, we have not banned Bayero. Because the judiciary, unfortunately, has, allowed itself to be dragged into the messy, the murky waters of Nigerian politics. And so, look at how, positions...
legal luminaries will say, leave the judiciary out of it.
One court gives a rule in the morning. By noon, another court. By evening, another court. So we don't even know. Nigerians have become emergency legal analysts. Because we don't even know. You say, this court said so and so. In the next 1 hour, you are getting another. That's not exactly what it meant. And you see, the issue is this. Nigerian politicians, they know what they are doing. Just keep us confused, keep us busy, so that, the hunger, we will not focus so much on their misgovernance. The issue in Kano, it's just, about politicians playing against Ganduje versus Kwankwaso. That is what is going on in Kano. So they're just using the emirs, that's all.
And you think that will not affect the 2 million votes that they got in the last?
Why will they affect? What has it got to do? No. Before the election, before 2027 is a long way. Before December this year, they will sort out this issue now. So the issue is this for me. They not. If you watch the way they play politics, they are very smart guys. In the North, they are very smart guys. They know how to present the image of one united North. Then they know how to also, at side by side, present the image of a fragmented North. When it comes to deciding how we are going to, how we are going to draw up the benefits we expect, I'm telling you, those same people say, no, we are not part of the North. All of them will converge on the same place as one North. Have you heard Arewa Consultative Forum talking for some time? They've been quiet now. But don't worry. When the time comes, not that that's forum, when the time comes, they will all start talking. It's just, it's a game.
Okay.
My take on
30 seconds, please.
Yes, on the Kanu, which is very simple. The president is friends with all the parties involved. Sanusi, Bayero, Kwankwaso Ganduje, they are all his friends on a personal level. So if there's anything the president is looking for, he's looking for the Kanu vote.
Okay.
Politically speaking, he wouldn't care who wins the governorship. They are all his friends. As you say, all politics is local. Let him get what he wants from Kanu. Let Kanu get what he wants from him. I know that's what the president is after. So if Ganduje wins, the president wins. If Kwankwaso wins, the president wins. He's not looking. So the president has more friends in Kanu than the RW even has in Lagos. The entire Kanu political family, almost everything that matters in Kanu has direct access to Mr. President. I'm telling you this for free. Before the election, his colloquium took place. Everything he was doing was Kanu. He knew that Kanu mattered. And people who understand the games behind the court will tell you how the APC went to just any length to unseat the LNPP. But in the end, the LNPP are the president's friends. APC are the president's friends. So even if tomorrow SDP wins in Kanu, whoever becomes governor or whoever becomes the head of the political structure there will be somebody who will be close to the president.
All right.
That's for free.
All right. So, of course, we would keep following that particular story, and as it develops, we would most definitely bring it to you, Joanne.
Yes, thank you, Harry. And when we return, United Arab Emirates finally lifts visa ban on Nigerians. Main conversation coming up shortly. Stay tuned.